of ideas, and to govern at home not by confusion and crisis, but with grace and imagination and common sense. Those words feel even more relevant today than they did 40 years ago. And I promise that he is itching to get on the campaign trail and elect Hillary Clinton. This last year has been a remarkable one in our family. Almost exactly a year ago, my grandfather was diagnosed with cancer. He approached this diagnosis with the exact faith, dignity, and strength that we've come to expect. He never stopped working for health and peace around the world, and he never stopped teaching Sunday school at home in Plains. Today, thanks to the miracles of modern science and the power of prayer, I'm happy to report that the cancer is gone. And not only that, but earlier this month, he and my grandmother celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary. My grandparents demonstrate that there is a strength in love, humility, and service that no amount of anger or pride or salesmanship can match. That principled strength is what drives them in the work that they do every day, and that same principled strength will elect Hillary Clinton as our next president.
Good evening, Democrats. 40 years ago, in our nation's bicentennial year, I stood before you to accept your nomination as president. Rosa and I wish we could be there with you again tonight to prepare for what will be an extremely important election, one that will define for a generation who we are as a nation and as a people. We Americans have a clear choice before us. I feel proud that the two Democratic candidates who competed throughout a long primary season, Senator Bernie Sanders and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, comported themselves with dignity, talked about issues that matter, and presented a vision for our nation. And I thank Senator Sanders for energizing and bringing so many young people into the electoral process. To all of you young Americans, I say, stay engaged, stay involved, and be sure to vote this November. At a moment when it's become more important than ever to lift people up, to offer hope and a roadmap to a brighter future, instead we see a Republican presidential candidate who seems to violate some of the most important moral and ethical principles on which our nation was founded. We can and must do better. Unfortunately, the Democratic nominee we will soon be choosing offers a stark contrast in both substance and style, and also competence and experience to what the Republicans have chosen. I've known Hillary Clinton for decades. When she was a young attorney, I appointed her to the Legal Services Corporation, where she became the first woman chair. There, Hillary fought to make sure that in our courts, those with the least were treated the same as those with the most. And since then, as you know, Hillary has always demonstrated a willingness to take on the most difficult challenges and to get things done. Her life has been dedicated to advancing human rights across the globe, especially for women and children. These are perilous times. We need someone with a strong heart, a deep understanding of the issues, challenges, and opportunities, and a steady hand. Hillary Clinton has my support. I know she will also have yours. A united Democratic Party will prevail in November. Thank you all, and God bless the United States of America.
Please welcome Senator Chuck Schumer from New York.
Hello, New York. I love you. Now, there is a statue in the harbor of the city I represent. A mighty woman with a torch. To me, that torch represents the American dream. And if you ask the average American what that dream means to them, they'd put it simply, not in fancy language. They'd say, if I work hard, I'll be doing better 10 years from now than I'm doing today, and my kids will be doing still better than me. Each generation must keep that torch burning brightly. It's the source of our optimism. President Obama did. He fought every day to defend fundamental American hope. But we have more work to do. Middle-class incomes have not grown enough. Too many families struggle to make ends meet, and if that continues, the torch will flicker. Its power to inspire hope will dim. Some are using this unease to pit Americans against each other. Not us. We Democrats fight for an America that works for everyone, that's focused on leveling the playing field for all of us. And when Hillary Clinton wins the White House and Democrats win back the Senate majority, that is just what we will do. My friends, Hillary understands what middle-class families need better than anyone. I know, because I know Hillary. I worked by her side for 8 years. As senators together, we were representing the great state of New York. And now, folks, I'm from Brooklyn. It's in our blood to sniff out bull. Now, there's a lot of that in politics, but not in Hillary. When she tells you something, take it to the bank. I saw it. Her remarkable ability to listen, internalize the concerns and fears and hopes and dreams of everyday Americans, and then work hard and get things done for them. Hillary listened to the factory worker at the Bechtel plant in Schenectady, worried sick that his company was leaving town. Hillary got tough. She read the corporate honchos the Riot Act until they agreed to keep their plant open, saving his job and many others. And Hillary listened to the first responders and union workers who rushed to the pile after that terrible day, 9/11. They were searching for signs of life in the smoldering rubble, breathing in toxic fumes with every breath. She championed their cause, fought to get them the health care they deserved, and they got it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the kind of leadership this country needs, and the stakes could not be higher. Most elections are about two different visions for America. This election is about two different visions of America. And Donald Trump can only see an angry America, fearful, small, closed to the world, and suspicious of our friends and our neighbors. Hillary sees a different America, an America that strives to live up to the promise written here in Philadelphia, that every man, every woman has a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. An America where we don't build walls, we break down barriers, we shatter ceilings. And that's because our differences make us stronger together. So, Hillary Clinton has the right vision of and for America. But my colleagues, and my Senate colleagues will agree with me, we cannot do it, she cannot do it alone. She's going to need a majority in the United States Senate. A Senate majority that puts a new Supreme Court justice on the bench who will protect women's rights, voting rights, and undo that awful decision, Citizens United. A Senate majority that will raise the minimum wage, ensure equal pay for women, that will pass comprehensive immigration reform, make substantial investments in infrastructure, give every student a shot at affording a college education, and that changes our trade policy so it doesn't represent corporate America, but represents the average American. With Hillary Clinton as president, a strong Senate majority by her side, we will keep that American dream alive for a new generation. And ladies and gentlemen, that torch in the harbor of the city in which I live, it won't flicker, it won't fade, it will burn brightly in the heart of every American. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Chuck Schumer, the senator from New York, speaking glowingly of Hillary Clinton, who, of course, was his colleague in the New York Senate seats for 8 years. One of the first, actually was the first senator to endorse her back in 2008, has been a supporter of hers all the way along. We're getting ready for what's going to be a very big moment tonight. Elizabeth Banks, actress, director, producer, is going to be taking the stage with a performance and also introducing a couple of the key themes that we're going to be hearing a lot more of throughout the evening. One of them, Hillary Clinton's work with children and families, and the other, they're dubbing social justice, but you're going to be hearing the mother from the likes of, and let's listen.
You know, I don't usually say this about Donald Trump, but that was over the top. I confirmed it just now. The Trump campaign is so hard up for money, I just bought that fog machine on eBay for 30 bucks. I don't feel good about it. I don't. It's night 2. Who's pumped up? Who's excited to pound a dozen cheesesteaks with me after this? Let's try that again. Who is ready to elect Hillary Clinton the next president of the United States? Woo! Me too. I'm Elizabeth Banks. Some of you know me from the Hunger Games, in which I play Effie Trinket, a cruel, out-of-touch reality TV star who wears insane wigs while delivering long-winded speeches to a violent dystopia. So when I tuned into Cleveland last week, I was like, hey, that's my act. Part of me really likes being up here joking around, but the other part of me knows that this election is too important for jokes. Because when I think about what this election means for America, I think about my family. My father, a Vietnam vet, worked the second and third shifts on the factory floor in my hometown of Pittsfield, Massachusetts. My mother worked at the library and the local bank. And they worked hard. They struggled. Because like millions of American parents, they wanted to give their kids, 4 of us, a good life with boundless opportunities. And it is because of what Democrats built, good public schools, affordable health care, help in the hardest times, that they were able to do that. And their dreams and mine took me here to Philadelphia. Really. Through scholarships and financial aid, I worked my way through the University of Pennsylvania. I got a world-class education, and I met my wonderful husband and partner, Max. I will never forget that day in 1992 when we went on a big romantic date, a rally for Bill Clinton. And it was there that I learned something really important about show business. The headliner should always watch out for someone stealing the show. Hillary Clinton rocked my world. A smart, committed, successful woman, and not for her own benefit, but a fighter for women and children, cops and first responders, health care and girls around the world. That's Hillary Clinton. And that is what tonight is all about. The fights of her life. Did you know that when Hillary Clinton graduated law school, she didn't just sell out and go work for some fancy law firm? She went to work advocating for children and families. It was one of her first fights, and since then, she has never let up.
One of the areas that I've been particularly interested in is the area of children.
All of us have a responsibility to ourselves, to our children, to each other.
We intend to be sure that everybody in this room and every child in this state is somebody.
No matter where they're born, no matter to whom they are born, our children's future is shaped both by the values of their parents and the policies of their nation.
It's time to protect the next generation. Fill the lives of our children with possibility and hope. Open up the doors so that every child has a chance to live up to his or her God-given potential.
I've spent my life fighting for children, families, and our country, and I'm not stopping now.
In her early 20s, Hillary Clinton spent time at the Yale New Haven Hospital researching child abuse. She saw children who had been beaten, burned, and neglected. The experience turned her into a lifelong champion for kids in need. As a child advocate social worker, I too am a champion for children. And I am lucky to work with a team of champions, social workers, case managers, attorneys, and other individuals whose lifelong work is to ensure that all children have a chance at greatness. Child advocacy has made significant strides in the right direction, but our work is far from finished. Every child